is present and represented by defense counsel. Defendant is currently on community control sanctions from the case where he pled guilty to having weapons under disability, a felony of the 3rd degree. He was sentenced on October 7th of 2024. A motion to terminate community control sanctions was filed on November 18th of 2024. That is the motion before the court today.
Thank you. Mr. Ramsey, what is the defendant's intention at this time regarding this final hearing? Does he want to have the hearing, or does he want to waive the hearing and admit to the violations?
Your Honor, we will waive the hearing and admit to the violations.
Thank you. Mr. Harris, you have been charged with violating the conditions of your community control sanctions. Specifically, there are 3 alleged violations. First is a Rule 6 violation. Rule 6 prohibits you from purchasing, owning, possessing, or having under your control any firearm, dangerous ordnance, or deadly weapon. And it's alleged that upon conducting a home visit on November 14th, 2024, a Taurus PT 738 handgun was found underneath the mattress in the bedroom which you were sleeping in. The next violation is another Rule 6 violation for the same rule dealing with firearms, alleging that during the home visit on that same day, a Glock firearm was found, a Pro TA Tactical Prop 15 short barrel rifle was found. Am I missing one? Oh yeah, it's two Glocks were found, correct? 2 Glock firearms were found, and then the short barrel rifle was found. And those were found in a floor kitchen cabinet that you described to the officer where those firearms would be, to the probation officer where those firearms would be. Lastly, is alleged violation of Rule 8, which prohibits you from using, possessing, or having under control any controlled substance not prescribed to you by a licensed physician. It's alleged that 313 grams of marijuana, which were 13 individual baggies, I believe, was found in that cabinet where the 3 firearms were. Now, you have the right to have a final hearing regarding these allegations. That's a hearing where the state would be required to prove the merits of what they're alleging. You could have this hearing, but you can also waive the hearing and admit to the violations. Your attorney has indicated, as you just heard, that he believes you want to waive the hearing and admit to the violations. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, before I can accept your waiver and your admission, I need to make sure you understand the potential penalties you face if you are found to have violated your community control sanctions. If, in fact, that did occur, the court could extend your probation up to a total of 5 years. It was originally put at 2 years just a few months ago. I could impose order more restrictive sanctions, including order that you serve time in our Lake County jail, or I could terminate your probation and send you to prison. If I did that, it could be 9, 12, 18, 24, 30, or 36 months in prison. Do you understand the potential penalties you face if found to have violated your community control sanctions?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm sorry?
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, having been so advised, what do you want to do at this time? Do you want to have the final hearing, or do you want to waive the hearing and admit to the violations?
Admit to the violation.
Very well, then, as to the allegation, the first allegation that you violated Rule 6 by possessing a firearm that was found under the mattress, what is your plea to that?
Guilty. Guilty, Your Honor.
As to the allegation of Rule 6 involving the 3 firearms in the kitchen cabinet, what is your plea to that?
Guilty, Your Honor.
And as to the marijuana charge, the Rule 8 violation involving the marijuana, what is your plea to that?
Guilty.
All right, the court will accept your pleas of guilty, find that you did violate your community control sanctions. Mr. Ramsey, any reason not to go forward with sentencing?
There's no reason not to go forward, no.
Anything you want to say on behalf of your client?
Yeah, thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Harris, as the court indicated, he was in a bedroom and under the mattress. Now, several people slept in this bedroom, but under one of the mattresses, there was a firearm. He's admitted to that violation. And on the way to here to the Lake County Jail, he actually told probation officer where other guns were and where the marijuana was and how to get into it in the kitchen cabinet. And I was just talking to him. You know, he seems very, very nervous and very scared. This case is, I think, is his only conviction that's on his record at this time because of expungement in juvenile court. And I was talking to him and I was telling him that when you get placed on probation and you can't be around firearms, anyone you live with, family, maybe they have firearms, you have to tell those people, get all the guns out the house or I'm going to be violated. And I think, whose guns they actually were is a different type of question, because he definitely clearly knew that the guns were there. He told law enforcement how to get to the guns. And so I've told clients in the past, Judge, that when you get placed on probation, your whole family kind of is on probation, because you can't be around any firearms, you can't have any in the house or anything like that. He is very sorry. He's very scared right now. I think he's written to this honorable court. He's supported in the courtroom by family members who also will work hard to make sure he does not violate any conditions that this honorable court would give him should the court continue him on community control sanctions. He's very nervous, very scared, has a wife, he has aspirations. He said he had just been hired at Potbelly, some restaurant I think in Euclid. But we would ask this honorable court to give him one more opportunity, one more chance to show the court that he can abide by those conditions and not be around any firearms. Lastly, he just said to me, he said, I don't want this life anymore, being around guns and things of that nature. And we'd ask the court to give him one opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Harris, you have the right to address the court before you're sentenced. You can say anything you want. Is there anything you want to say at this time?
Yeah.
I did receive the letters that you've written to me, and I've read those, but you certainly have a right to say anything here.
Yes, I wrote a letter. If I can read it, if I may.
You can do whatever, say whatever you'd like to say.
I want to start off by apologizing to the courts, the bailiff, my PO, Miss Jamie, Mr. Craigberry, my family, my girl, most importantly to you, Your Honor. I truly come to ask for your forgiveness and hope I can show you guys that I've changed for the better. I no longer want to live this lifestyle anymore. Being incarcerated taught me a very hard lesson that I may not want it, but need it. You may ask what the lesson that I've learned. Well, for starters, is to not get on you guys' bad side ever again, and to always think before I do anything, and to make positive choices moving forward. And remember that every action has a reaction, whether it's good or it's bad. Another lesson is time. Me being away from my family, it was rough. Seeing my mom struggling and trying to take care of a full house, I always tried to help out. She is my best friend, and growing up, she raised me right. I hate putting her through this because of my other brother being incarcerated. And it took a toll on her already. So much has happened within the last few months, and I carry this burden like everything is my fault. My grandmother has been sick, in and out the hospital for a while. She is my heart, but I feel like I'm slowly losing her. 3 days ago, my girl was brutally beaten by her first child's father. She was 4 months pregnant with my child. She had a miscarriage. My heart shattered. I've been depressed, disappointed, hurting. Cannot stop crying, blaming myself because these things wouldn't happen if I was there. I was excited to become a father, and you took that away from me. My joy, my hope, and happiness is gone. She is falling apart, and I would love to beat her for her. I made a stupid decision on her. I'm not that type of person. Under these skin and tattoos is an intelligent, smart, kind-hearted, caring kid. I'm not built for this. I'm begging for one chance. It's all I need to show my maturity and my improvement. I've been working on. I've grown so much mentally and physically. I know I can make you proud again. I'll never do nothing like this again. I read a lot of books in here, and there was this one quote in this book that stood out to me. It said, "Speak with your mouth and believe in your heart. Your old self has been crucified with Christ. It is no longer who I live anymore." And I replaced it with the new me who has a purpose and wants to do and be better. I promise, if given a chance, I'll attend every meeting and visit, and to keep my sobriety going. I look forward to finding a mentor to help me achieve significance and generational wealth. I would also like to do AA meetings or any type of therapy. It will also help me out a lot to keep me on track. I appreciate you for your time, Your Honor. I swear and promise to never let you down again. You have my word.
Anything else you want to say?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Ramsey, anything else?
Nothing else, Your Honor.
For the state of Ohio, Mr. Presky?
State defers to the court, Your Honor. Thank you.
This court has reviewed the original pre-sentence report investigation. I've considered the facts and circumstances of the underlying offense, the nature of that, but also the nature of the probation violations here. Considered everything that's been said here. And considering all the foregoing, I'm going to incorporate all the findings I made at the original sentencing hearing regarding the seriousness factors and the recidivism factors, with the additional finding today that the defendant has failed to comply with the imposed sanctions of this court, previously imposed sanctions of this court, which is a factor indicating recidivism is more likely. Now, here's the problem, Mr. Harris. There are certain violations which are much worse than other types of violations. And what you did here is the more serious of the serious violations. And you present fine, you read, you can write letters, you can act like you're upset, and you truly are upset. But your conduct doesn't show that. You got a large break when you were here last time, because I took into consideration all the circumstances surrounding what had happened. And I understood what you said had happened, and your explanation as to not realizing that you had that adjudication still there. And what did I do? I gave you nothing. I put you on probation with no jail time.
Yeah.
You had 4 days of jail, and I gave you 4 days of jail and let you walk out here. And what did you do? Within days, you're posting pictures on Instagram of you holding firearms and all this cash. Within days. Now, maybe that picture was taken a while ago. I don't know. But you posted it 2 days later. What was the point of that? 2 days after you get probation, I let you walk out that door on a gun charge. You're posting pictures of yourself holding guns and cash.
It was stupid of me.
It was stupid of you. But then what did you do? 2 to 3 weeks later, on your Instagram live page, you're selling a firearm. Now, maybe it wasn't you, maybe it was someone else, but it's on your Instagram page. You let someone, if it wasn't you, and I won't say it was you because we can't see if it was you, but you let someone on your Instagram page sell firearms. So this all happens within a month of me letting you walk out that door on a gun charge, taking into consideration the tears and how upset you are, what you had to say, and this is how you act. This violation is one of the worst violations you could commit when you're on probation for a gun charge, and then you get found to have all these guns. You've shown that you're not going to listen to what. Doesn't matter what we say. You're going to do whatever you want to do.
No, Your Honor.
It's clear to the court that you're not amenable to available community control sanctions. To engage in the conduct that you engaged in after being put on probation for a gun charge, and to post pictures of yourself with guns, and to sell a gun, or at least that using your Instagram page to sell the gun. It blows me away.
It was retarded of me, and I promise to you I would never do nothing like
I've
this.
heard these
ever
promises
again.
last time and let you walk out the door because of the promises that I heard. So you're not amenable to available community control sanctions. Prison's consistent with the purposes and principles of sentencing. Therefore, it will be a sentence to this court that community control sanctions be terminated. The defendant be ordered to serve 12 months in prison. He has credit for 107 days he's already served. I need to advise you upon your release, you may be placed on post-release control for up to 2 years. If you are and you're violating those conditions, the parole authority can return you to prison as punishment for violating their rules for another, in this case, 6 months, the maximum being 50% of the term I just imposed. Any additional prison term imposed for violating post-release controls being imposed as part of the sentence at this time. Court disapproves the defendant's placement in a program of shock incarceration, intensive prison program, or transfer to transitional control.